Hello, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to take you into a New Year's plan with me. I'm going to take you into an overhead shot and show you how I reflect on the previous year, vision for the new year, and I want to get all the way down into quarterly planning. So I'll start at the yearly level, the life level, get all the way down to the quarterly level. So we're going to talk about vision boards a little bit. I'll show you my vision board from last year, as well as I'll show you the kits that I'm using this year to do vision boarding. And then we'll get into my kind of New Year's reset. This is the planner that I made. So I'll take you into the planner, we'll do a flat lay, and we'll do kind of some reviewing questions together, get into this year's mountain, really tuck into this. And the biggest part about this is I want to share with you guys my goals. You know, a lot of this has been really educational that I've been doing and instructional, but I want to let you guys into my world a little bit and show you a little vulnerable at times, and I just want to show you what my personal goals are for the year. So yeah, let's get into the overhead. Okay, so let's get started with our yearly planning. This is the Intentional Planner 2024 Goal Setting Workbook. I'm using this on an iPad Pro, and I'm in the free app Notability. I really recommend this app. It's a great app. They just have a new design that they just did, so that's there too. At the end, I'll show you a few different versions of this. So if you want to see, you know, like how are people putting this planner together, I'll show you that at the end. So what I recommend people do is I recommend they bookmark 4 pages. I recommend you bookmark your year's mountain. I recommend you bookmark the quarter mountain that we're currently on. Then I recommend you bookmark the current month and then the current week. So when you have those 4 bookmarks, then you can easily reference back and forth on the iPad. Okay, so I'm going to get into the first questions, the 2023 review. So I'm going to answer these questions. What amazing things happened this year? Of the things on the list that I made happen this year, which ones were within my comfort zone and which were on the other side of it? If I had to relive 2023 over and over again for the rest of my life, would I be happy and why? And what did I do this year that had lasting value? What will still matter 10 years from now? P.S. The small everyday things count. Okay, so for me, when I look over what amazing things happened this year, I launched a planner that was huge. I have a couple of money ones. I don't know if that's weird for me to share. I feel kind of uncomfortable sharing it, but if I have a goals channel, then I'm like, well, maybe I should share my results. But I had my first 4-figure day and then a $10,000 month. I gained 10,000 subscribers. Most of that has just been the last little month. I've really been making a lot of traction in the last month. I started hosting parties. That's something that's really big for me. Like I'm going to host a vision board party, which I can show you too, my vision board supplies. I just got a whole bunch of vision board supplies. So I'm so excited about this. I got a couple vision board books. I will have them linked below. This one looks really good. This one was really inexpensive and it was really good. And then I also have this one, which I'll link below. But I'm so excited. So I'm going to have a vision board party with some friends over. I also got some stickers. I just got some packs of like motivational stickers, and then I got some different colors of paper. So this was my 2023 vision board. I just wanted to kind of show it to you. So I'm so excited to host this party. You know, I'm just looking at all these things that like totally happened, like especially like this dream job, growth. I mean, financial growth has been huge this year. So yeah, this is an inspiration for vision board if you feel like it. By the time this comes up, it's probably, oh my gosh, I forgot all about this number. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. But yeah, so it's been a really exciting month. By the time this comes out, it's probably not too late. This stuff from Amazon came really quickly. So I'll link that below. If you want to have a vision board party, it's not too late, and it wasn't very expensive either. And then I tried to go back a little bit further because a lot of times, you know, when you're like thinking about the amazing things that happened this year, I feel like you're really oriented toward like the last few months. But I quit teaching, which was so exciting. I went full-time on YouTube. I also bought an e-bike. That was so exciting, and then I ride it all the time. I love biking. And I made a lot of new friends. I moved to San Francisco about 1.5 years ago, and I feel like I'm finally making traction with friends. So that's been so exciting. Okay, now I'm going to scroll down to, of the things on that list that I made happen this year, which ones were within my comfort zone and which were on the other side of it. Okay, so as I'm looking at that previous list of amazing things that happened and which were on my comfort zone, this is what I find every time, that so much of the time that when I look at the things that were amazing about this year, the highlight reel of the year, many of them are on the outside of it. Like I feel like the big things in life typically are on the outside of it. So like the 4-figure day, the 10K month, I mean, that was, you know, beyond my comfort zone. The e-bike financially was outside my comfort zone. It was really expensive and I like saved up a lot of money to be able to do it. Going full-time on YouTube and quitting teaching, I mean, those were just hugely outside of my comfort zone. The friends, that was really outside my comfort zone, and the hosting parties, those kind of go together, but I really took a more active stance with friendships this year, and I haven't really done that before. Launching the planner, I kind of put on the border because, you know, I've launched previous vision books before, but this was like a full calendar. This has like a full calendar in it. I hadn't done something like that before. So it was I kind of have done it, kind of hadn't. And then the subscriber growth, that was also it was getting close to outside my comfort zone because I'm like branching into a kind of a different type of content. So this is just really exciting. I think it just goes to show that like the greatness is outside your comfort zone. If I had to relive 2023 over and over again for the rest of my life, would I be happy and why? This is such an interesting question because I feel like parts of the year were really exciting. I feel like my year was really split into two halves. The first half of the year was I was still teaching. It was really stressful, and I was kind of in the process of having to make these big changes, like should I quit teaching? Can I financially afford it? And all these things. So it was really stressful. But then the summer and then the second half of the year has just been phenomenal. And my grandma came down for October, and that was so fun. So the second half of the year has just been amazing, and I would love to live that. Now, I couldn't like be in this position that I am without making those hard decisions and doing that hard stuff that I did the first half of the year, and like saving up and like doing these things to logistics to make this happen. But it's just been really exciting, and I just really love this project planning phase and everything I've been doing the second half of the year. So the next question is, what did I do this year that had lasting value? What will still matter 10 years from now? And then P.S., the small everyday things count. So when I look back at this year of things that'll still matter, I mean, it really just clarifies that the time with people is the things that matters. Like, I think launching the planner really changed some of my mindsets. I have had a lot of like anxiety and fear sometimes. And so any like mindset work that I've done, I think had huge value. I made some big gains working through anxiety this year. And I think time spent with God really impacted me. That's some time that will always matter. Quitting teaching, that has huge value on the trajectory of my life. And just any time I spent with people, whether it's like talking on the phone with family or hanging out with friends or hosting parties, I mean, people, that's really what matters. And I also think that when I've spoke up, I've been kind of historically a really quiet person. And then I don't know, the YouTube channel's kind of a way for me to like learn to like speak up more, and then that translates like in person learning how to speak up more. So the times that I've spoke up, I think, and used my voice, like when I want to say something, I think that that's been a really big step that will still matter. Okay, so that's a 2023 review. Okay, so now moving on to the 2024 reset. Time to reset, launching into a new year. So the first question is, what type of person have I been becoming this year? Have I been uncovering my true self or covering it up? So this year I really feel like I started kind of uncovering my true self. One of my core philosophies is that like you're born as kind of like an innocent child or whatever, and then you have life experiences which kind of throw dirt on you. And then as you grow up and like especially in young adulthood, the important work is to like uncover all that dirt that had been thrown on you and to uncover your true self again. And so toward the end of this year, I really feel like I was working on that really well. A couple years ago, I was just doing this prayer exercise and praying about what 2022 and 2023 would be like, and I had felt like that would be the year that I started kind of becoming my true self. And I really feel like 2022 and 2023, I mean, thinking about moving to San Francisco, quitting teaching, those were just hugely instrumental in me becoming more fully alive, I feel like. So I feel like I've been more bold and more creative than I've been in a long time. I feel like I've got good balance. And Lexi is the name that I use for myself when I'm thinking of like my childhood self. That's what people called me when I was little. So I just feel like I'm uncovering Lexi. It's been really good. So the next question is, where have I let my dreams die and why? And then P.S., it's time to revive those. So I think a huge part of like New Year's planning is acknowledging like where have you let dreams die, and giving yourself permission to revive those. I mean, I think a lot of times like as children we have these dreams, but then at some point stuff happens, life happens, and we want to get those back. So what dreams have you let die? Why'd you let them die? Let's really dig into that. Sorry, there's a truck outside. I don't know if you can hear that, but I had kind of started, until the last quarter, I'd really kind of started to let YouTube die because I just felt like, maybe views on YouTube are dying and, maybe TikTok's the thing now or whatever, and it's too late and you can't do it anymore. And I'd seen other channels are still growing. Like I've seen other channels growing. And I think I just realized it was something specific that I was doing and it's not too late. And this growth to the end of the year and like the support you guys have shown with the planner, I think is really evidence of that it's not too late, that it's still possible. It's just if I'm not growing, I wasn't doing the right thing. A side note is that I've kind of let singing die. I don't know. I've like do some singing at church sometimes, and I kind of, I want to get back to that. I feel like it's a way for me to express my creative side. I feel like that's kind of starting to revive. So the next one, what are the deepest desires of my heart? The ones that never seem to go away, even if I push them down. So I think for me, no matter what, like I've wanted to quit on YouTube so many times, but it just always comes back. And the desire to like create online products, especially the planner always comes back. Like even if I'm like, oh, I'm not really interested in planning right now or productivity, it just always comes back. And then I think singing and leadership just always comes back. You know, I try to push them down, they just keep coming back. And I just feel like that means something. Like if there's a dream or a desire that you push it away for a few years or you try to push it down for a few months or whatever, and it keeps coming back, that's significant. So yeah, it's brave to get your hopes up. I feel like a lot of people shield themselves. A lot of people won't get their hopes up because it's a scary thing to do to get your hopes up. Like for me, getting my hopes up about YouTube, that's kind of a scary thing to do. But it's brave to get your hopes up. Okay, so 2024 identity words. Our areas of most vulnerability are actually our true identities knocking at the door, because there's nothing more vulnerable than being our true selves. Pick your 3 biggest vulnerabilities and flip them to uncover your true self. Boring becomes unique, afraid becomes brave. Think deeply about what words resonate with and represent you. So I think something that I feel like, kind of this dirt, we talk about piling on our true self. I think something is that I've started to consider myself like an anxious person. Like I've started to just consider that, but I really feel like it's part of who I am to do brave things or courageous things. Like I think there was a lot of bravery in coming from Idaho, where it's a much lower cost of living, to San Francisco, or to then be living in this expensive San Francisco and quit teaching. And so I just feel like truly that I'm a brave person. That's who I'm meant to be. And because I'm insecure about like being anxious, it means that I value that bravery. And then something that I feel like all the time on YouTube is like, I feel like maybe I'm boring or I have nothing new or interesting to say. I think that what that means is like unique. These examples here came from me personally here. But I did this activity a few years ago that my identity statements were unique, free, and brave. And so that's something that I've really held on to, that's really helped me in certain times. But yeah, the fact that I like worry maybe about being boring shows that I value that thing. And then sometimes I feel like I'm too late to YouTube or too late to certain things. But something that I've been called a lot recently, like in YouTube comments or by my family, is visionary. So I'm just going to choose what these are my identity words: brave, unique, visionary. That original activity was unique, free, and brave. So I want to include that one as well. These are the words I'm going to cultivate these in myself this year. I'm going to really lean into believing these things this year. And then what word feels right for the theme of 2024? So I think the words that I want to pick, I'm having a hard time picking. So the reason I called it the intentional planner is because that's something that I've really been trying to instill in myself as well. So I think intentional is a big word for me. And the other word that's really important to me that I'm thinking is try hard. This is one thing I've been thinking about. Like people will be like, don't be too keen, don't be too eager, don't show that you really want something, or try hard. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have a try hard year. That was my goal for the end of Q4. And I feel like things really worked out. It's I'm going to try hard, act like I want it. It's I don't know why. It's embarrassing to admit that you want things sometimes, because then if you don't get it, I guess it's embarrassing. People can rub it in your face or something. It's no, this is what I really want. I'm going to try hard to do it. Okay, so now on to the next page. Oh, this is my favorite. Okay, 2024 vision. Before we embark on the year, write a letter to your current self from your potential self, or your highest self, your future self, your intuition, or God, whoever's voice would be most impactful in this moment. Detail what they would say to you about 2024, how it will go, and the long-term impact it will have on your life. Your potential self is so proud of you. So yeah, I had this spot for this letter, dear and love, and this is something that when I've prayed about this before, the things actually, I feel like they came true. When I was doing this for 2022, those things came true, and then I actually in that letter put little tidbits about 2023, which came true, and in that letter, there were spots about how 2024 is one of the best years yet. So I don't know. I really love this exercise to pray about it or talk to whoever you feel like you want to talk to about what is the significance of this year. Okay, so I just got done writing this letter. Dear Alexis, this is the years of hard work pay off. You've been so faithful and diligent. This is the year you blossom into your fullest self. This is the change-making, change-breaking year. This is the year of your voice. Speak up, speak out, speak loud. You show people it's brave and rewarding to get their hopes up. Continue reaching. You are made for this. Love, God. So this is something that when I've done this in the past, it's just so rewarding to go back and look at this. It's something that really motivates me to have written a letter from, your highest self, your future self, or whoever you want to write this from. But this is something that then I'll probably add more to this later, but it's something that's been really impactful, especially the more specific that I've gotten, and then to see those things that have actually happened. Okay, now we get into this year's mountain. This is the goal setting portion. So the first question is dig deep, be brave, and pick the deepest desire of your heart for the year. We'll call this your dream goal. The dream I commit to pursuing this year is... So for me, the dream that I commit to pursuing this year is what I would call try hard YouTube. But I want to make that actually measurable, not just vague. So I think the specific goal that I'm going to make is I'm going to do 4 launches. I think that'll be the goal for myself. Like the planner would be considered one of these launches. And then each quarter I can be focused on, that thing. I think it helps me focus on like what type of videos to do or, just keep on track. So that's my goal. So the diagram below is your dream goal 2024 timeline split up into 3-month quarters. The numbers listed here correspond to the numbers in the diagram below. Number 1, fill in your dream goal for the end of 2024. For example, the book is written. So if you wanted to write a book, that's what you would write there. So my dream goal is 4 launches, and I specifically want them... I haven't done many launches before, so I think my goal is I want them to each be $12,000 launches. Number 2, on the timeline, fill in your dream goal again for the end of quarter 4. For example, the book is written. So by the end of quarter 4, basically, I want to do a launch each quarter. So basically, the way I'm going to split it up is I have launch 1, launch 2, launch 3, and launch 4. And so you work your way backwards, determining your benchmarks. List 24 goals for 2024. These could be one-time goals like run a 5K, or they could be habits like bike every day. Make sure they're measurable. Oh my gosh, they are so loud moving in right now. Okay, so I just filled in my 24 goals for 2024. This one that I'm working in here, this was a rough draft I did a while ago, so that's why there's 2 21s right here, because it was before things launched or whatever. But anyways, so these are my 2024 goals. I don't know, maybe I'll go through them with you. I want to complete 3 Lego sets. I really love Legos. I want to do a 25+ mile bike ride. I want to read 24 books. I want to host 3 parties. My ideas for that are a New Year's Eve party, which I'm already doing, a murder mystery party, and my birthday party. I want to lead 2 retreats. I want to be able to do a Saturday or Sunday New York Times crossword. The Sunday is like easier than the Saturday, but it's bigger. So I got a Monday book, and so I've been trying to like get those. I can do those almost. I can almost do those all the way. I want to do a bi-monthly budget meeting. Garrett and I are doing this thing where it's a monthly surprise date. So like January, I'll plan one, February, he'll plan one, and we'll just alternate back and forth doing like a surprise date for each other. We go on date nights every week, but then this will be like a bigger thing. I want to do 18 dance classes this year. I want a weekly wheel plan, bike 3 times a week. I want to move into a new place. I want to move into a bigger place in San Francisco. I want to do yoga 2 times a week in the evenings. I want to own a cat. Okay, do you hear this? This is so loud out there. I want to do 12 coaching sessions. I want to keep track of the daily planner insight. That blank, if I don't do anything else, I want to keep track of that insight blank. I want to keep with my mind, body, soul morning routines. Like I do something for my mind, something for my body, and something for my soul. That's been going pretty good. I want to get 7,000 steps per day. I chose 7,000 because I heard that like the difference between 7,000 and 10,000 isn't that big of a difference. I want to have $12,000 launches. I want to save $20,000. I want to plan 12 friend gatherings. I want to take a train trip. I want to try 12 new restaurants. And then I want to plan a conference for church. So those are my goals for the year. It always seems like a lot when it's on this spread, but when you plan it out, it's not actually that much. So I'm really excited about this. And if at some point throughout the year I decide that I don't want any of these, it's totally flexible. If we decide, you know what, it's not a priority anymore, it's not a priority anymore. You know, we just want to make sure that if it's a priority, we do it. But if it becomes not a priority, don't do it. Okay, so we're on the last 2 pages of what I want to do today. And you can do this like however many sections you want to do this. You don't have to do this all in one sitting. You probably shouldn't do it all in one sitting. But now I'm going to start just the quarterly part, the quarterly one reflection. The diagram below is 2 half circles that portray the 2 important spheres of your life: access to yourself and access to the world. Without both, you cannot make a whole. The vertical axis depicts your level of intentionality. Both hemispheres at true north allow you to fill up so that you can pour out and overflow. So if we look at this, this is your self hemisphere, this is your world hemisphere. And what it would be like to be intentional with yourself was you got like introspection, reflective insight, deep access to self-processing. If you were being unintentional with yourself, that's like detached from life, stagnant, anxious, void of influence, lonely, social media addiction. On the world sphere, being intentional when you're out in the world, or just basically when you're outputting, that'd be impact, meaningful work, real community, deep relationships, actively involved in your life. If you're not intentional when you're outputting out in the world, that's not deeply known, busy, lose yourself, scattered, alone in a room full of people. So this right here at the top, this true north, that's the full expression of creativity. You're filled up so you can pour out. And unintentional down here, that's just kind of like going through the motions of your life. So rate how intentional you've been with your time with yourself on a scale from 1 to 10, then rate your intentionality with the world on a scale from 1 to 10. Circle one phrase from the left semicircle and one phrase from the right that represent how you've been feeling, or create your own that resonate more. So I kind of colored it in. You don't have to do that. But I feel like when I'm alone, I've just been spending kind of a lot of time on Reddit, so I could be definitely spending my time more intentionally when I'm just by myself. And when I'm alone, I'm not doing a lot of inputting. Like, I feel like that's a good time to read or get inspired. So I don't know, maybe 7.5 was even a little too generous. Actually it probably was. I think stagnant is maybe more the word. Like when I'm alone, just kind of stagnant. Maybe I'll call that like a 4. Now, when I'm out in the world, I feel like, and I'm using the world loosely as just like outputting as well. So like creating YouTube videos or when I'm around with people, I feel like I've been very intentional with that time recently. That hasn't been a trend for a long time, but that's been like recently. I've been pretty intentional with that. Okay, so I feel like I've got like meaningful work and real community. That's how I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling really good about that. How have I been spending time with myself in unintentional ways, and how can I dig deeper into intentional time with myself this quarter? And then list action steps. So yeah, I feel like just Reddit, and then sometimes in my thought life, not all the time, but sometimes I'll just kind of like allow myself to spiral in my thought life. So I want to get better. I'm actually doing this exercise that a therapist recommended. It's like I think it's like a 21-day challenge where you're trying to reprogram thoughts. So that's been good. I feel like I've been getting a little bit more control of things. But I think I just need to get better about continuing to journal and read the Bible. I think that has, and also just reading in general. And I would say those are action steps. So I want to get better about that. How have I been action taken in the world in unintentional ways, and how can I more meaningfully and intentionally connect with the world this quarter? So I feel like as far as like unintentional, sometimes like if I just wake up late or like last minute, I'm like going out the door, then when I'm with people, then I just feel kind of scattered. So then it makes the time that I spend with them not very intentional. So what I want to do is just kind of like get settled. Like I'd like to be ready a little earlier so I'm not like running out the door. And then also I would like to kind of like show up early so I'm settled and like ready to meaningfully engage with people. Okay, finally, the last page we're going to do today, which is the quarter 1 climb. So what is my vision for quarter 1? What would I like a typical day to look like? Okay, so my typical days, I wake up with Garrett, I have a shake, jog outside. That's the body emphasis of the morning routine. Then I want to read the Bible and journal. That's kind of for like the soul. And then do daily planning and kind of get started on work, and that's for my mind. Then I continue with my YouTube flow. I kind of outlined this. I've been really liking this YouTube flow where it's like the morning of one day I plan and research a video, and then the afternoon of that day I work on whatever my project is. Like in this case, I was working on the planner. Then the next day I film and edit, and then I just kind of alternate. So some weeks that's 3 filming days, sometimes that's 2 filming days. But I love working on a creative project. I loved working on the planner, and I would love to continue working on creative projects. So I work in the morning, then bike and have lunch with Garrett, and then continue working in the afternoon. So that's kind of how I split it up. And then I think for quarter 1, I would like to plan maybe having a mastermind. I don't know, just working through with people how to organize their life. It's just kind of in the beginning stages, but I think that's what I want to do. What project skills or character traits would I like to cultivate? So yeah, I think the big project would be then making that mastermind. And I think I have a lot of like question marks about it. So that's going to be probably the first phase. I'm probably going to spend January kind of just outlining and really figuring out the answer to these questions. Like, is it going to be a course? Is it going to be a coaching program? Is that something I actually want to do? Basically, I'm going to take steps to do it. And then if at some point along the way that I'm realizing it's not really in alignment, then I'll switch. So this is going to be part of my big goal. So that's why I'm not listing action steps here, because I know it's going to get chunked on this quarter mountain. Now, if it was something not related to your big goal, you'd want to make sure you chunk those things out and make sure they get added to the calendar. But for me, I know that it's part of this, so I don't need to. So the diagram below is your dream goal Q1 timeline split up into its 3 months. The numbers listed here correspond to the numbers on the diagram below. So number 1, fill in your dream goal for the end of 2024. So my goal is 4 12K launches. And then for the end of Q1, I wanted to have 1 launch done. So if I look back, if I've got February and January, then I'll chunk backwards to make sure I have that. So that first month, I need to really just get down, decide is it going to be a course, mastermind, topic, and I'm going to have like specific, I'm going to make sessions to sit down and actually decide these things. February, that's when I'll definitely be on creation mode, probably creating it that month. And then I would say the third month would probably be launch month and promoting. Okay, on a separate piece of paper or digitally, make a Q1 bucket list and hang it somewhere you will see it often, like the fridge. Okay, so this is when I got started on my bucket list. I might add more, but I want to take a weekend trip. I want to try a few line dancing spots. I want to read 6 books. I want to do my hip hop dancing class. I just want to continue to do that. I want to find a good cannoli. I want to try 3 new restaurants. I want to try a cat cafe. I have a gift card to do a float tank, so I want to do that. I want to put together a Lego set. I want to get a cat, so I'm so excited about. Yeah, so that's what I have so far for my Q1 bucket list. I love doing this. What I'm probably going to do is actually get a piece of paper and jot this down, and then I will put it on my fridge because I feel like when it's physical, I'm a lot more likely to actually do it. So I'm so excited about that. Oh my gosh, this has been so fun. Thank you so much for doing this with me. This is so fun. I love because it just, sometimes things seem kind of like big or overwhelming. Like I was thinking about like, what's my big project? I want 1 project per quarter. What's it going to be this month? And I was really thinking about it. It's like, you know what? I'm going to just give myself a month to think about that. I'll give myself a month to think about it and then I can still do it. And then we'll chunk it down even further. Like we'll chunk it down into weekly action items and daily action items. So I'm feeling good about this. I'm feeling a lot more prepared after this. Okay, so when you download this planner, you get access to 3 different PDFs. So you get this digital version right here that I've been working with on this video. You also get an 8.5 by 11 version. There's some websites where you can print and color cheaply. My husband just printed this at his work, but I've heard you can print at colorcopiesusa.com for about $30. You can print this whole thing on, this isn't 28-pound paper, it's kind of see-through, but you can print it on 28-pound paper, so it's not see-through for about $30. Then you can take this to Office Max, and you can get this spiral binding for $3. It's really easy. It takes them like 30 seconds to do it. You can get the spiral binding along with this clear cover if that's something you're interested in. I've also heard of people putting this like in 3-ring binders, if that's something you want to do. And then finally, the third version that you get access to is the Happy Planner size. So I just used a cover from a previous Happy Planner that I already had, some Happy Planner rings, and then I used a Happy Planner hole punch to go ahead and punch holes in the pages. So this is, once again, on 28-pound paper, and you can just take these pages out with a Happy Planner hole punch. It's 7 by 9.25 inches. And so then when you print it, like when I took mine to get printed, I just instructed them to cut to the bleed so that there would be no extra white margins. So yeah, thank you to everyone who's bought this planner. Oh my gosh, I have just been floored by the support and like the emails that you guys have sent and the good feedback. So thank you so much. It's been so kind. So yeah, I will have more of these videos. I'll do a monthly video, weekly plan with me, daily plan with me. Yeah, and I would love to throughout the year do live streams. I'd love to live stream this, make this just like a weekly ritual that we do our weekly planning together. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.